Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Risk of Rain 2 video. Today we're going to be playing the Drifter, one of the two new survivors in the Alloyed Collective DLC, right next to the Operator, which, by the way, if you have not seen the Operator video, be sure to check that out. It's a great one. It's a great watch. Great survivor, great character, all that stuff. Honestly, I think, in my opinion, the Drifter is actually a bit harder than the Operator, but both characters are still very strong, very well made, and very fun to play. So today we're just running the default loadout, which I'll kind of briefly go over the abilities here. So the M1, your primary attack, is very simple. All you need to know is that it's a 3-round attack, 1, 2, 3, with the third attack being the big one. Pretty much that's all you need to know. It's the big one. So you're gonna do a bit more damage on the third attack. Each of these attacks, though, has a chance of the enemy to drop junk. Now I'm gonna be mentioning junk a lot, and I'm also gonna be mentioning scrap a lot. So the difference between these two, you have to understand that scrap is the thing that you get from scrappers when you scrap items, of course, and then the junk is gonna be the little yellow things that come out of enemies in the junk meter here. Cool. So scrap and junk, two very different things. Let's get some items here. Orphan core is actually pretty cool. So yeah, that's all you need to know about the M1. The M2 is pretty easy as well. You don't really need to memorize all of the little things that you can possibly throw out of your bag. You're completely fine if you just think of throwing the M2. That's all you need to know, really. It's a little ranged attack that has a chance of throwing out a little extra thing. And that extra thing is going to be something like an equipment, an item, an ability from another survivor, anything like that. Again, you don't need to memorize them. Just kind of know that they are there. Cool. So that's the M2. By the way, if you have at least 2 pieces of junk in your junk meter, you can bypass the cooldown of the M2, therefore just kind of spamming it until you run out of junk. So that's gonna be kind of the gameplay loop of Drifter, pretty much. We're going to try and stack a lot of junk, and then use our M2 to kind of just throw junk everywhere. That's also how you're gonna deal with all the flying enemies, because Drifter, of course, is a melee survivor, so you're going to struggle a little bit with the ranged enemies. Cool. The Repossess is the shift. It is a pretty simple ability. You can, at face value, use it as a dash, as you've seen, or you can use it to pick up enemies like this, and when you have them, you can kind of beat them in the sack and get some extra junk from them. If you so choose, you can also grab enemies and throw them for a bit of junk like that, and they'll come out with a bunch of junk that you can collect. Or you can do my personal favorite, a mixture of both. So you can actually, for maximum junkage, you can actually pick them up, slap them a couple times before they break loose, and throw them for the most amount of junk. That's probably going to be how you stack junk the fastest. Alright. It doesn't stop there, though. You can definitely also pick up pretty much anything, any interactable. This includes, you know, chests, barrels, multi-shops, printers, shrines, anything like that. Anything you can interact with, you can pick it up. What are you? Are you a dead body? You're a dead body. I thought you were a drone. You can pick up pretty much anything, and you can beat pretty much anything to get junk out of it, so it makes it super duper efficient to, you know, pick up chests and get junk out of them, to stack your junk meter, which is going to be very important in the later game especially. Something pretty cool you can do as well, even though this has already been interacted with, I can still pick it up and get junk out of it, even if it has no use to me now, which is very cool, which makes chests very OP as well. So we can go ahead and hit the TP now. It's already 5 minutes. Don't want to take too long. So we're gonna kind of just beat them up here and get some junk. Airborne bosses are going to be much harder to fight. Luckily, we just have a Beetle Queen here. I did not mean to get hit by that. But we can kind of just do the whole thing of attacking, grabbing junk, and using the M2. It's a very consistent way to get DPS out without stacking your junk too heavily beforehand. It's one of my favorite things to do. So you just attack a few times, M2, attack a few times, M2, and it'll pretty much always be up. Also going to want to keep note of some of the smaller enemies that you're going to be fighting, because those enemies are going to be the easiest to get junk out of in the later stages when everything is a little bit tankier and harder to kill. You want to be able to get junk consistently, so you have to kind of keep note of what enemies you can kill, kind of gauge your power level, and see what is worth grabbing in the sack. Cool. I forgot to talk about the last thing, salvage. Pretty self-explanatory. You have enough junk, at least 2/3 of the way, this kind of mark right there. You can use salvage to print 4 temporary items for you. So these can be any rarity, I think, besides yellow items and lunar items, and void items, of course. They can only be, you know, white, green, or red. I honestly hate this stage so much. I really don't like it, but we're gonna play it anyways. All because of these guys. These guys move a little too fast for my liking. To be honest, I don't like those. It's probably the one enemy I don't like in this DLC. Also because I don't really know how to play against it that well, but I just feel like they move a little too fast. Especially on Eclipse. Like, they move fast now. Bro, on Eclipse, it's kind of ridiculous. But anyways. You bury your drone. Okay, that might actually be good. So this guy right here, we're gonna grab him, smack him a few times, and throw him to get the maximum amount of junk. And then we're gonna print some items, actually. You know, depending on your playstyle, you want to be trying to utilize the temporary items as much as you can. So if you really want to min-max, you can try and constantly stack your junk through, you know, chests, enemies, anything like that, and then just keep printing your temporary items because they only last like, I think like 90 seconds or something like that, 60 seconds. One of those two numbers. But if you have multiple stacks of a certain item, each stack will take the duration of the temporary item. So if I have, for example, 2 stacks of tri-tip daggers, I actually get tri-tip dagger for 120 seconds because I have 2 of them, and after it goes through the first stack of the temporary item, it's going to start ticking on the second stack. So they don't all go away at the same time, which is very, very nice. Basically, I just like to print items for potential move speed, though. Because move speed is going to be super important in the long term for clearing the stages, because like really 1 stack of bleed is not going to be super influential for me in this stage when it's gone in 60 seconds, but a goat hoof, energy drink, red whip, things like this are going to be super duper important because they help me now. They help me clear the stage faster now. So they are temporary, but they lead to permanent effects that will actually boost my overall pacing of the run. So those are the temp items you really want to see. I actually can't open this. I'm a little too poor. I have money, please. And I'm on ice. Okay, cool. So open this, as you saw right there. I grabbed that. Runic Lens is amazing. Thank you. We're going to check this little area over here, and then we'll probably hit the TP. But honestly, these items are pretty good. It's another one of these dudes. Oh my god, it's two of them. I absolutely hate this entity right here. I think they are too fast. They do too much damage. Actually, I think the damage wouldn't even be a problem if they weren't so fast. They're like actually impossible to try and catch. Let me send my bubble shield right here. Yeah, they're just so fast. I don't know. I don't know why they're so fast. They're hard to catch as a melee survivor. Okay, so any other chests around here? We don't want to get caught up in fighting too much, because that's a pretty big waste of time. What are you? Fireworks. Okay, we're actually good to go. We have enough money to loot whatever we see, so we're gonna kind of get out of here. Are you a chest? You are a chest. Cool. So we have 10 items at 11 minutes. We're a little behind, but it's fine. I'm actually gonna grab both of these. Speed is really, really nice. We're actually gonna hold off on damaging the Titan, just so he doesn't do his little thing until we have max scrap like this. I'm sorry, junk. We're just gonna unleash all of our junk on him. Pause. Pretty sure it's like impossible to talk about the drifter without sounding sus. Just have to kind of be careful here. We don't accidentally kill ourselves trying to get in the middle of the action. So if you can see here, I'm like trying to grab all of the wisps because I know I can kill them instantly and get junk for it. So that's going to be the play. Pretty reliable sources of junk. These guys are impossible to catch. Oh my god. Let's open this actually. I didn't even see that there. How did I walk into that? That's crazy. Oh my god. Yeah, I just hate how fast those guys are. It's crazy. Okay, cool. We can go ahead and just leave here. Sweet. So even though we are like 13 items, 13 minutes, I think it's fine because we have Runic Lens, which is very, very strong, as well as a couple of other really good items, so I'm not too worried. We're probably not going to hit the encrypted portal, just because I want to do a normal run. I can't afford this chest yet, so I'm actually going to take it with me. I'm going to take it with me so I don't have to spend time around here. Let's print some items, maybe get some speed. No. But yeah, I can't afford the chest yet, so I'm going to take it with me to a place so I don't have to backtrack. This seems like a good place to leave the chest here, since it's surrounded by other chests and I don't have to run all the way back there. I just completely missed that. Alright, can I grab you? Kinda need some junk. Get some items going. Cool. We do have a void seed here, which is very nice. Very nice void seed. That is amazing. We're gonna hit that in a second. We're actually gonna pause buffer it, which is a pretty cool thing I like to do. I'll show you guys. Can I grab him? I can grab him through the spaces. That's actually pretty cool. I actually did not know that. Let's print some more items here just because we can. Just get our item printing power to start snowballing here. Kinda need some more money. Hello. Come here, please. I'm trying to fight you. Something fun you can actually do as well. Grab your favorite tough enemy and just kind of throw him off the stage. Get some free money. Literal one-shot. Come here. Fight me. Okay, cool. So we're gonna grab this and we're actually gonna pause buffer it. So we have Sticky Bomb here. I'll actually take Sticky Bomb. That's pretty much the only good thing I really need right now. So you, for example, I don't want to fight you really. So see ya. Oh, he's still alive. Oh, whoops. Come here. Bye. I'm gonna actually do the same for this guy as well. Unless he just dies before I can get to him. Okay. Yeah, he's just dead before I can get to him. That's cool. Yeah, honestly, that is a super underrated way to take care of enemies, especially in the later stages, because you're going to encounter some pretty tough guys that you're going to want to just get rid of. Kind of like Elder Lemurians, maybe like, you know, parents, elites, stuff like that, that you kind of want to just get rid of because it's much safer to do so, and you get money pretty much instantly. So if you ever find yourself like coping on a stage because you're not strong enough, and you need some money to start looting stuff, just grab them, throw them off, get paid, move on. Alright, so let's check around here. This last little area of chest. We have enough money to pretty much buy everything we could need. Move speed printer. It's very, very important. If we can scrap, we can actually get super duper strong because of the drifter passive, which I haven't talked about yet. But it's super duper important. I don't think enough people talk about it, including myself. But it's much easier to talk about when we can actually see what happens with it. So I'm gonna wait for a scrapper before we start talking about it. This is the last guy here. Let's get rid of him. Maybe get some good void items. Man, I really need a scrapper, man. Let's hit this here. Get some move speed. Healing drone is going to do some work for us. Oh, I forgot you actually can't grab the scorch worms, I don't think. Let's just smack him with the bag. Cool. We're now full health for this. The key is promising. Come here. Come here. Alright, he's dead. The key is very promising. Ooh, I missed a multi-shop down there. Key is very promising, though. Could get some pretty good stuff. I think we just need the move speed from here, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and hit the TP. Grab the void key. Cool, so we're actually going to go ahead and stack our junk as best we can. And then we're just gonna kind of unleash on everyone. Not get frozen there. Kind of sucks our attack speed is super low, so we can't really stack junk reliably with our M1. We kind of have to grab things. Alright, kill him before he can suck. Come here. Get the junk. Unload the M2. And then rinse and repeat. Get the junk. M2. And he's dead. Another feather. That's actually super duper nice. Yeah, we gotta get rid of some of these wisps here. I usually don't like killing wisps immediately, just because they're super good for just stacking junk. Because of how weak they are, you can just grab one and get some junk pretty easily and kill it in the process. So I usually save them as much as I can. Obviously you want to prioritize them if they're dangerous, but if not, I like to keep them there. So let's actually put that there. We'll grab it on our way out. I don't think I checked all the way up here though, actually. I miss anything. Missed a chest here. Any scrapper? I would love a scrapper. Don't think we're getting a scrapper, guys. Just super duper unfortunate, because we could get so strong right now because we have a bunch of things to scrap. That is so unfortunate. That is super duper unfortunate. I don't know, maybe we try to blind print? At least one? Well, actually, I don't think we need to. I think our move speed's pretty fine right now. I think our move speed's fine. We have a lot of good white items I don't really want to risk, so let's go ahead and get out of here. We're going to wait till the last second. Grab our items, just so they last a little bit longer. And yes, your temp items will carry over to the next stage. So a pretty popular strat is to kind of stack a bunch of temporary items right around the teleporter and just grab them at the very end to go to the next stage. We're going to grab you. Goodbye. Thanks for the free $100 space dollar. Wow, these things are expensive. By the way, you can do the same thing with the Halcyon. So if you do a Halcyon Shrine on stage 1 or something, you can kill it pretty much instantly just by throwing it off the ledge. And then getting paid. So we're gonna kind of lure him to the edge here, grab him, and throw him. Goodbye. Thanks for the $600. Can I grab you as well? I actually can grab you. Goodbye. And get paid. Not for the whole gup, actually. That's crazy. I thought the whole thing would die, but I guess not. Only get partial gup credit. Okay, let me not die in that little corner. Cool. So now we have a bunch of money just from throwing those guys off the edge. That we can actually get moving a lot here. I think we can actually fully skip pillars with one Faraday Spur. Just super duper strong. This item, by the way, is insane. Insane item, I have to say. The Faraday Spur. It's probably one of, if not the craziest item in this DLC. Okay, so let's actually get rid of you. I'm gonna take you, throw you on the ground. So we're in close combat. Ah, Scrapper. Beautiful. Can actually talk about the passive now. So this Scrapper being here is actually a pretty big power spike for us because of the Drifter passive. So I'm gonna actually clear a little bit before we scrap anything. I mean, kill these guys, get a bunch of money. In here. Just so I'm undisturbed while I'm pondering my scrap. Alright, this guy's not dying here. Okay, that's probably as best as we can do. So, little thing about the Drifter, the passive is super duper nice because depending on what kind of scrap you have in your inventory, you can actually get bonuses for owning scrap. So for example, I'm going to scrap these stealth kits and I'm going to get green scrap. And depending on the rarity of the scrap, you get different bonuses. So I believe white scrap gives you 3% move speed per stack. Green scrap gives you 3 health regen, plus 3 health regen per second. Don't quote me on these exact numbers. Red scrap is actually, we're going to scrap this. Red scrap will actually give you plus 50% attack speed. And then yellow scrap will give you 15% cooldown reduction, or minus 15% on your cooldown. So if you take a look at the corner now, you can see we have green, red, and white here. So we have a little bit of extra move speed, we have a bit of extra health regen, and we have a lot of attack speed. So it becomes super duper interesting because there's now a new level of gameplay, decision making, to where if you saw, I scrapped my rejuvenation rack, which is on its own a great item. It's a cool item, I like it, and it's great. But when you think about what the red scrap does for you, in my mind, I'm thinking I have a choice between getting the rejack with healing, increased healing, or 50% attack speed. Let's go ahead and take this. Thank you, GG. So we now have a really cool macro dynamic between scrap and items. So if items actually do things for you in the moment, you can exchange their current value for something guaranteed. So if I need movement speed, I can sacrifice, like I did, the Topaz Brooch for extra movement speed, and I know that is going to happen. Okay, sorry about that. I had a phone call. Anyways, like I was saying, so we now have, ouchies. We now have an interesting dynamic between the current value of items and the value of scrap. So it's cool because scrap traditionally does absolutely nothing for you. It's kind of just there as a physical item. Of course, you can use it for the printers and everything, but as a physical item itself, scrap does nothing. Wow, I cannot get up there. The physical item itself does nothing. But having this now actually makes it so that I am incentivized to kind of keep scrap in my inventory. Which is super duper interesting because normally I would die on the inside if I ended a run while still holding scrap in my inventory. It means I kind of wasted some value somewhere or something like that. Let's go ahead and kill these guys. We have pretty much enough money to clear the whole stage. I don't think we should be fighting at all here. So that's a mistake on my part. We're actually not doing too well pacing wise. Let's look for the legendary and then maybe get another red scrap going. Let me hit this actually. Let me pause buffer it. Do we already have gasoline? Yes, we already do have gasoline. Sticky bomb. Let's take another poly loop actually. Pause buffering, by the way. Amazing way to always get what you want out of a adaptive chest. It's a little cheesy, only works in multiplayer though. Alright, see what we got. Okay, desk plant. Desk plant is another great example of this. So I'm thinking desk plant by itself it's not a bad item. It's pretty all right. But if I'm thinking in terms of this trade-off, like what would I rather have? Would I rather have a desk plant that'll heal me a little bit every now and then, or would I rather have another 50% attack speed giving me a total of 100% increased attack speed right now? And truthfully, I think I would rather have the 100% increase in attack speed. That's going to be very, very, very helpful for us. So I'm going to go ahead and scrap the desk plant, because I know I'm going to get something even better out of it. Let's actually scrap a couple of these other things as well. Yeah, that's probably fine. Cool. So now we can go ahead and get out of here. But, I mean, just look at this. That is fast. I'm ready to beat up whatever comes out. This is great. I can just kind of kill him to death with my bag of goodies. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Again, I'm kind of spacing out my M2s just so I don't run out of junk immediately, because I don't have a lot of junk saved up, so I kind of have to be careful with how I use my junk. I'm actually going to kill you because you're kind of far away here. But yeah, that's super duper strong actually to have two different bread scraps. It means that we get a lot of attack speed. And I'm also thinking here, now that we have the Titanic Neuro, if we want to scrap this or not, because the yellow scrap, if you recall, will actually give us 15% cooldown reduction. And when we eventually get to Mithrix in a little bit here, we're going to be relying a lot on the M2, so cooldown reduction is actually going to be super duper important. So I'm thinking in my head, you know, is it more worth to have a little bit of health and health regen, or is it more worth to have the CDR, which I think might actually be better to have the CDR, because we're already pretty tanky and we get a lot of health regen from the green scrap here. So I think I'm actually going to scrap the Titanic Neural. Let's go ahead. I don't think I want to scrap anything else, actually. So take that, and you'll see down here, the yellow icon, we get a little bit of cooldown reduction, which is very, very nice. Anything else up here? Doesn't look like it. Looks like we are good to go. Looks like we are good to go. Alright, cool. So again, whenever you see a printer, you kind of want to be thinking the same thing. Thinking about your scrap in terms of the stats it gives versus what you might be printing. So up there I saw a focus crystal printer, and I'm thinking, okay, the weight of, you know, movement speed from white scrap versus the little bit of damage that I can get from focus crystal. I'm kind of weighing those options in my head, and I think I want to keep the white scrap as much as I can because I like the movement speed, even if it's just a little bit. I don't know why I just walked into that. It was kind of stupid. I think we can actually skip pillars with one Faraday spur, so I'm not really looking for anything this stage. I think we are pretty much good to go. Another scrapper is great for us because we can start stacking our stats a little bit more. It's hard to say fast. Start stacking our stats. We can start stacking our stats. There we go. So we don't really need to loot the whole stage or anything. I think we could just kind of go straight for the boss. I don't see myself really needing anything out of this. Maybe get a couple more thingies. We'll definitely get rid of some of the big threats here. Like this guy I do want to kill. And his friends as well. If I can actually hit him. Even though he's a flying enemy. Again, oops. Where did he go? I was gonna say, even though he's a flying enemy, we can still most definitely throw him off the map. I think it still works. Oh, here he is. We can get him and throw him off the map, and I think he's gonna die still. Yep. So even if he's a flying enemy, you can still kind of toss him off the edge. Because he'll go straight down, and he won't be able to fly again until he hits the ground. As is the deal with all these flying enemies, they won't be able to start flying again until they hit some solid ground, I think. So that might be like the side of the stage or something like that, like on the wall, or they might just die. So something to note, that you can most definitely still throw flying enemies off the stage even though they are flying. That's actually a very good strat. So this guy, again, we're going to take him, dispose of him. And then we're going to kill this guy because he's kind of dangerous. And then I'm going to grab this preemptively and start getting some scrap out of it just so we can stack our scrap. And then we'll get out of here. So even though we have a full junk meter, we still want to kind of use our junk sparingly so that we don't run out of junk in the middle of fighting him, kind of like that. So we want to attack a few times and then use our right click, and then attack a few times and use our right click, just to kind of space it out. That is very good junk management, as they say. Actually, I don't know if anyone says that. It's kind of the cool thing about, like, when new content comes out, because, like, everyone always ends up making their own Wranglish for things, and it's pretty interesting to hear what people say sometimes. It's actually really, really good for us. Come here. Let me properly dispose of you. Ouch. Let me not get one shot here. Come here. Oh man, teleported out. That is something you have to be careful with parents and children. They will 100% teleport out of the sack if you are not quick enough. So it's worth waiting until, you know, you're able to actually grab them after they teleport or something like that, to make sure that you can safely transport them off the edge of the stage. We're going to run around and loot a little bit, just because I think there's some good things around here. We'll take this for the crit. What else? Just take this. Awesome. Feather number 3. You love to see it. Excellent. And so kind of keep our power up a little bit. Hopefully you're something good. I'll actually take that over the FNP, just to further boost our attack speed even further. That is fine. A few more things up here, maybe. I'm not trying to full loot the stage or anything. Ooh. Here is actually a pretty interesting predicament. So we have green scrap with us here. And we have a poly loot printer, which we can actually use. I think I'm actually going to print into this. And we're going to scrap a little bit more green scrap. So I'm going to use all this green scrap here. So I am fine with that. And I do want to hold on to some green scrap because I think the health regen is super duper important. So where's my trusty old scrapper? I completely lost my scrapper. Where did I spawn? I think it was somewhere over here because I remember spawning over here and then walking this way, yeah. So we can actually scrap a bit. We'll go ahead and scrap this. And then we will scrap this as well. Don't really need it. Hello there. And then, what else? Don't think we need this either. We already have so much attack speed. And I think that's fine. I think I'm fine with that. Let's grab a few more chests around here. And then we'll make our way out. Focus crystal is amazing. That works very well with our multiplicative damage. Holy schmoly. Cool, so I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure you can just straight up skip with the Faraday Spur. With one Faraday Spur, I'm pretty sure you can just straight up skip. So if you don't know how this works, basically when you run a bunch, you build up your Faraday Spur charges. And then you actually get a lot of move speed, up to 100, so you can, I think that means 100% move speed, like you can double your move speed, or something like that. Which with moon gravity works really well because you can kind of run off things and fly like that. And so when you use things like your mobility skills, you'll actually gain a lot more height and a lot more distance because of the speed that you have. So there's a little spot on the tree somewhere here that we can latch onto. First I want to go here. By the way, you don't take fall damage while your spur is active. So we can run up here, kind of get some distance, and then jump. And I completely missed the spot. Doesn't seem like it's there. Hold on a second. Don't shoot me yet. I'm figuring this out, man. Where's the spot? I think it's right there, right? I think that's the spot. So I am in the right thingy here. Let's go ahead and try and stand on it. Please? Nope. Okay, I might cut the video. Hold on. Please hold while I find the spot. And maybe get rid of these guys. Must be that one right there, right? I think it has to be that one. Hello? Please? Okay, I wonder if I can just, jump my way up. Okay, so I'm gonna try this. I think I can just jump my way up. I think I have enough time to do this. Oh, I have to land first. Okay. I got it. I got it. So I'm actually gonna jump my way up here. I have to hit the side a little bit sooner. Or a little bit later, actually. There we go. I think I can do the same. As long as we hit the side of the wall, I think it resets our jump thing. So let's go ahead and try this. Or we can just straight up jump the whole thing. Okay, cool. Faraday Spurs, by the way. We got it eventually. We got it eventually. Something like that. Alright, here we go. This should be pretty self-explanatory. Basically just want to... First of all, we have to get rid of these spurs. Because I'm not dealing with that. I think essentially we want to... Wait, why is he dying? What was that? Was that my, Wait, was that my... Runic lens? He's just dying on purpose. Yeah, I think Runic Lens is just cooking him here. But basically, if you don't have Runic Lens, what you want to try and do is not get hit like that. But as far as I am concerned, I have just been waiting for him to use his slam, and then jumping in with Repossess, and then trying to get behind him at least. You don't want to be in front of him like that while he does his attacks, because he's going to hit you, of course. So when he does his attacks, you do want to be behind him. And then you want to get out as fast as possible. So when you DPS a little bit, you know, get a few swings in there, you want to get out as quickly as possible. And the idea is that you're just trying to get junk. Pretty much just trying to get junk. Because like I said earlier, the main way you're going to deal with this guy is through your M2. Ouch. I thought I was out, but he's dead. Your M2 is going to be what kills him. Obviously, I suck at this fight. Come here, you. But that is mainly going to be the safest way to deal with them. As for this phase, again, dealing with the Chimera Wisps, it's going to be pretty much the same as you would like any other big flying enemy. You're just going to grab them, throw them on the ground, beat the crap out of them. Profit. Although when you throw them down, I will say you do want to be a little bit above them, because they're going to start flying up immediately. Holy crap, dude, he just spaced me. He just Korea spaced me. You see that? Hit the stop command on me. So we're going to throw him down, be a little bit above him, and then unleash. What you got for me, junk drone? Oh, it's actually good. I'm gonna wait. These guys should be pretty easy. Gonna hit him a few times and jump out. Just like that. Just gonna beat this guy to death with my sack. I'm actually gonna grab all this stuff now. And wait for him to attack. Phase 3 is much harder, obviously because of the shockwaves. But more or less, that's kind of gonna be how you want to attack. So kind of like that. Gotta try and kill the ads real quick. You can die, please. And then grab the junk. Do our pizza thing. I really want to revive my drones. I know they're just gonna die instantly again. Gotta find a good angle on him. It's hard to get a good angle. Oof. Should not have gotten hit right there. I should have just dashed. I don't know why I'm trying to be so conservative. My dash. Okay, let me get rid of these ads. I'm like really starting to get concerned. Alright, so we just gotta be patient through this part here. What? Invisible pizza, by the way? Hello? Y'all saw that too, right? It's fine. I'm just gonna heal up with our green scrap. Just like that, DPS a bit and get out. Actually gonna get some scrap from this little guy. Dude, the gravity is so hard to use, actually. Can't get on the ground fast enough. Holy... Wow, he's cooking me right now, actually. Please no invisible pizza, man. It's not cool, bro. Alright, so again, we just gotta have to wait. Look at that guy right there. I think it's probably more worth to actually just get scrapped from the ads in this phase. And then just hit him when he's mid-animation like this. That's probably going to be the play, actually. Ouch. How am I actually getting hit by all of these? Please no invisible pizza. Thank you. Cool. There we go. This should be pretty easy as well. Can I get junk out of him now? Yeah. I can actually get junk out of him now. That's cool. So while he's taking my items, I can just stack junk. And just hit him. Cool. Okay, hit by the balls. Woo. And then we just kind of have to be patient. It's a lot of just waiting for the M2 cooldown, to be honest. And that's it. It's probably the worst Mithrix fight I've ever had in my life, but if this doesn't prove how OP the scrap is, then I don't know what will. This one's definitely not the good one, right? Yeah, if that doesn't prove how OP the scrap is, I don't know what will. Like, you can play with one hand and just with your eyes closed as long as you have the right amount of scrap, apparently. Oh man, that was... I'm not proud of that one. That was pretty much just runic lens, I think. But still, I think that's the general gameplay loop and strategies of Drifter if you're fighting Mithrix. Like, it's a lot of, you know, keeping your distance and waiting for the M2s. It's a lot of the M2, pretty much. But it's a strong M2. It's a very strong M2. Very strong character in general, too. So, that is the Drifter. As far as the Alloyed Collective DLC with the default loadout. I might try the alternate loadout, but truthfully I'm not a big fan of the other abilities, so I might just not. But yeah, hopefully you learned something or entertained or something of the sort. Yeah, thanks for sticking around to the very end. I know these full runs are kind of long and sometimes not really eventful, but even if you just had this on in the background, hope you got some good information out of it for the Drifter. These guys are annoying when to kill some of them. But yeah, very strong character. Like I said in the beginning, in my opinion, much harder than the Operator, so it might take some time to get used to. You might be like me, where at first I was like playing this character and I was like, oh my god, this survivor sucks. This is an awful survivor. I don't get it. But as you play more and more, you kind of understand that it's hard to pull off, but it can be very rewarding if you're good with it. So that was the Drifter on Monsoon. Here's the build. Here are the stats. Here's the run. Again, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you learned something, and I hope to see you guys all in the next one. See ya.